wanna wake up, the show is about to start. But lots of stories about poo and a bit of heart. When it comes to Joanne, no, you won't find no faults, but if you mess with the bull, you might get the shorts. It's time for morning. It's Morning with Bill and Joe. It's time for morning. It's gonna be a heck of a show. It's Bill and Joe. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, where's my makeup?
Hello and welcome to Mornin with Bill and Joe. I'm Joe.
I'm Bill Schultz, and you're not. Do you know what that's a reference to, Joe?
Oh, God, it could be anything, but please tell me. The suspense is killing me.
Well, it's a deep cut to the first year of Saturday Night Live. Chevy Chase would start every weekend update with saying, "I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not."
That's fun.
Well, now you're patronizing me. And you know, of course, why I'm saying that, Joe.
Yes. Was it last night?
No, you didn't watch it.
I did not watch it. Here's why. I am not an avid SNL watcher. I only see occasional sketches. So I feel like the whole thing would have been one big inside joke for everyone who's watched, and I would just feel left out.
It was a lot of that. The Schultzes are SNL obsessives.
Okay.
I cannot tell you what I did last night. I remember exactly where I was, roughly the year when I saw my first Saturday Night Live, and I'm going to be honest with you, and this is not a big thing to admit because I find when you get older, I think it's a lack of testosterone. You tend to tear up a little more. I'm still dead inside. I'm more dead inside than I've ever been. But I don't know, like commercials, like weird things, like I can get a little verklempt. Saturday Night Live term. But I teared up more than once last night. It was very good. Very, very good. Eddie Murphy is, you forget that Eddie Murphy is still a absolute, total, and complete comedic genius. And he's been on the outs of Saturday Night Live for 30 years. He finally hosted about 3 years ago. I remember being almost embarrassingly excited for it, and also telling myself, all this weight. Eddie Murphy has not been on Saturday Night Live since 1984, 85.
Wow.
And so he's hosting. It's not going to be good, as good as you want it to be, Bill. Joe, guess what it was?
Was it better?
It was better.
Wow.
Yeah. And then him last night, he played Tracy Morgan right next to Tracy Morgan, one of those type of things. And oh, so good.
Okay, so clearly that was a moment you enjoyed. Was there any celebrity or sketch or bit that you didn't quite love or that you thought didn't hit the mark?
There were a lot of celebrities there that I didn't understand why they were there. Sabrina Carpenter. Do you know who she is? I'm not fully aware of her.
Yeah, she sings that song, That's That Me Espresso.
Oh, I didn't even get that joke. She referenced espresso a lot. Yeah, she's in it a lot.
Interesting.
That was weird.
You know, they're looking to get an audience for the next 50 years.
You're right.
So they have to use these like young teeny boppers.
Yes, you're very right. You know what the new dick joke is?
What?
Bush jokes.
Oh.
Just a preponderance of 70s style vaginas as a joke in the show. Like every sketch. And I was all in for it. But yeah, it was like, I don't even think there was one dick joke, but it was just all female pubic hair all the time, as far as like an ongoing theme of jokes in the show. I can tell by your face that you don't like this.
No, I'm just thinking about it really is in the zeitgeist at the moment, because this season on The Real Housewives of New York, there were maybe 3 episodes where they discussed Jenna Lyons' pubic hair, because apparently it is soft and long and straight.
There's no such thing.
But that's why it took 3 episodes to discuss her pubic hair.
How do they all know about her pubic hair?
Well, she took a picture and showed everyone.
Huh. And it's flaxen.
Apparently. And then
And-
all the other housewives decided to get little like fake hair extensions, the cheaper version of a merkin,
Sure.
and put it on under their bikinis as like a prank and have the hair sticking out. It's not my style of humor. I think it's pretty simple, and yeah, it's not much of a thinker. I like when there's just an extra added layer of intelligence. I don't know.
There was more layer. Oh, okay. So, all right, I will stop boring you with this. I'm so upset that you didn't see it actually, because you would have loved it, even if you wouldn't have gotten the some of the inside jokes. It's not a spoiler because it's everywhere now, and I think they're paving a way for perhaps her eventually actually hosting next year. Meryl Streep is in a sketch,
Okay.
and it's all about Meryl Streep's gigantic bush in that sketch.
Okay.
In the thing that she does, along with Kate McKinnon's. And again, this is a theme throughout the show, but Meryl Streep kills it. She's absolutely hilarious. And you'll like this. So one of her lines, they've all gotten alien abducted, and Woody Harrelson and what's his name? Pablo Pascal. He's in all those movies. You know what I'm talking about. They get a much better alien abduction than Kate McKinnon and Meryl Streep, who plays her mom, and they're these white trash girls smoking constantly. And Meryl Streep's talking about how she had her pants on for most of the time, but the jeans get stuck on some metal. And Meryl Streep's smoking her cigarette. She goes, and then they're off. And as far as underwear is concerned, well, this devil wears nada.
Oh, that's funny.
I thought you would like that. The audience went crazy.
Sure,
went crazy. Yeah, I'll send you. It's most of the sketch. I'll send you some of the clip after the show. You'll watch it because it's funny, and you won't be like, it's not one of those rolling your eyes clips that you'll ignore from me, and you're like, Bill. Like, you'll actually enjoy this clip, Joe.
Now, why did they do it on Sunday?
Well, last night, I'm glad you asked that. Last night they ran the very first 1975 episode 1.
Oh wow!
Thing of Saturday Night Live. I don't think they've ever run the entire episode. They've run like an hour of it or half an hour of it. They've never run the whole thing. And so all of this means a lot to me, Joe, because, growing up, my whole family, again, very much into Saturday Night Live. But so Saturday Night Live debuted on August 11th, 1975. What happened 3 days later?
Oh God! Someone died?
I mean, in some ways, your soul died. I was born.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm sort of like, I got. There's a lot of SNL things going on here, So yeah. But
Those two events have absolutely nothing to do with each other, and yet in your weirdly twisted mind, you're making it make sense to you.
Yes, I'm surprised you're surprised.
It would have been cooler if you were born like a day or two before.
Well, it's
then
pretty
you were like,
close.
I needed to see the first episode.
I share the same birthday with Steve Martin, a regular host.
Wait,
he did the monologue last night.
The same year too? You're the same age?
You would think that.
Shocking.
All right, okay. Enough about me and this New York institution that you seem to care not about. All right, tell me about Valentine's Day. And you guys are married, so I assume you did nothing. Tell me about Douglas's birthday. And also I want NOLA updates. Okay.
First, Valentine's Day. We do what we usually do, which is not go out. Because again, Valentine's Day is for people who don't show love to each other any other day of the year.
I've quoted you on that, yes.
Yes. We stayed home and we had a charcuterie dinner. Just some cheese and meats. Douglas made some fresh sourdough bread. I picked up a nice bottle of Coderone. And we just watched TV and ate cheese, and then we're fucking gassy all night. It's great.
That is marriage. That is so marriage.
Then the next day was Douglas's birthday, and we got tickets to see. So at New York City Center, which is a large performance venue, it's called Encores. And so basically they'll take shows and just do a stage reading of it, I think potentially in the hopes of having it come back to Broadway. Well, the one they did was Urinetown,
Yes, I
which
remember that.
Douglas was in a production of Urinetown growing up. I was in a production of it growing up. It is so funny and just such a good show. And so we watched that and really enjoyed ourselves. However, God, Douglas and I are really turning into old crotchety people
Turning?
because we were so frustrated with the people sitting around us.
Okay.
Someone behind me sneezed at least 50 times throughout the show. And it was always 4 sneezes in a row. And they weren't even trying to stifle it. They were hot chews. They were
Right.
like big sneezes. And I don't care if it's only allergies. I don't care if you're not
Wow.
actually sick. Don't come to the theater. It's still disruptive and annoying and inconsiderate to the people around you.
And they were right in front of you?
But right behind me.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, let me get the spew of your sneeze on my neck.
Yeah.
Then the person in front of us, she kept fixing her hair. She kept like playing with her hair. And then at some point would like leave an arm up. You know, and these seats are tiny. So essentially it's like kind of blocking your view
Yeah.
with her arm.
And you're tiny.
And then the woman next to her pulling out her phone. You
No, you don't
paid.
pull out the phone.
You
Don't pull
paid
out
good fucking money. Why are you looking at your phone? So anyways, that was just me realizing I'm a very old woman who doesn't like people.
Well, no. First of all, even as a young woman, you didn't like people,
Yeah.
and you were always an old woman when you were 5.
Yeah.
So I don't see a lot of change. I don't see a lot of growth here. And Joe, I'll stop with the SNL references. Aside from this is why you got to watch it. To the point where we might have to throw up our Nobody's in New York graphic. So John Mulaney was like one of the head writers for the reunion.
Okay.
And John Mulaney, I think I've told you this before. Part of me is still amazed that he is straight.
Okay.
Just because of all the Mulaney-isms, but also he's a huge fan of musical theater. And so he does in the history of New York, as from Saturday Night Live up until now. And they got the cast members playing Giuliani and Dakins, and there's a guy that's so tall you don't even see him. So he does lyrics on Les Miserables, like it's that, and there's like the pimp of 1970s Times Square versus the urine-stained Elmo, who is Javert, and the pimp is like Jean Valjean, and they have a one-off, and they do oh gosh, they do a bunch of them. They do Wicked. They do all these like old staple musical theater ones that you would know better than me. And it's just the history of New York from 1975 till now. And it's a great sketch, and it's really well done.
Okay. Well, hey, speaking of queens.
Oh, nice.
I did a little more to my costume.
Oh, I haven't seen this bit yet.
For New Orleans.
Nice.
Last time we checked in on my jacket, it just had a few bubbles. Well, I've added more down the sleeve. And then I bought some pearl rhinestones and fabric glue just to sort of bedazzle.
This is gonna end up taking way longer than your flight will be.
Now, the last thing I need to do is I'm going to paint these buttons. I don't like how dark they are. I think I'm going to do this gold paint
no one
here.
agrees with that pattern, yes.
So yeah, but now here's the thing. We're
Okay.
going to a party while we are in New Orleans, and our plan was to rent these like Rococo Baroque French aristocrat costumes.
Yes.
But then our friend who lives there is like, they might put you in costume jail. They really like more, like you're just supposed to look kind of slutty and like handmade put together. And it's like, oh, so we're going to be penalized for actually looking good?
Wait, I don't understand costume jail.
They literally sequester you, and you either have to remove one of your pieces of the costume or I guess they kick you out. And it's like, but I paid money for a ticket to go to this thing.
Right.
I don't know. Already it's putting sort of like a sour taste in my mouth because I'm like, yeah, me going to a party in the first place. But we'll see. So I might have to craft a different costume instead for that. And if I do, I think I'm going to be a sexy alligator. I don't know.
I'm trying to picture this.
So basically, I would just wear green sequins, and I
Always
might
sequins.
get like a little alligator hat, or I might get a little head of an alligator and affix it to a headband.
All right, I want you to keep describing that costume for 30 seconds. That's all it's gonna
Why?
take.
What do you have to do?
Never
Why do you
said
keep leaving?
never say I never did anything for you. Just keep watching.
No, I don't.
I'm not even gonna leave the camera.
If you have an actual alligator head, I do not want it. Oh, God. Okay, and Bill, if you are just listening, is now getting up and going to his bookcase that's full of his little trinkets and collectibles. And no, Bill, I can't affix that to a headband. I can't put hot glue on that. Oh, boy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't put hot glue on that, Bill.
You saw it already?
Yes,
This is a real alligator head.
with the tag still on it.
Yeah, because I always thought I could resell it because apparently they're illegal now. But you can take the tag off. But what you do is you just turn this into like a hat, right? You put like you got to be careful with this, man. I love this thing, but I'll let you borrow it.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Why? Don't you want to be an alligator?
I don't want a real alligator head.
It's a real alligator head.
A fucking collectible with the tag on it that you want to resell. No, thank you.
I'm probably not going to resell it, but I would be. You look. Honestly, no one's going to have an issue with your costume if you bring this bad boy. I'm giving it to you.
I don't want it. I don't want it. So yeah, so that's how my
fuck yourself.
planning for New Orleans is going. Hey, speaking of wearing some sexually empowered costumes to parades.
Thank you for not saying slutty.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I appreciate that. You are doing the work. I'm so proud of you.
This is a great. Where is this from? New York Times. Interesting. Wait, but it's from a magazine? I don't know. Whatever.
No, it's the New York Times Sunday magazine.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay, so someone asked the ethicist columnist
Yes.
a really interesting question.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
What's the rule about looking at women in public?
Still perplexes me.
The person who goes by name withheld
Not me. I can't emphasize that enough.
says, as a red-blooded male, I would like to stare, but of
Definitely not.
course that's rude and possibly antisocial. In the past, when I've taken a quick glance and got caught, I was given sharp, disapproving looks from the women and often some bystanders. I've always been a loner, so I didn't always get clued in on proper etiquette. When I married, who married name withheld, I asked male coworkers what to do about looking at women considering my new status. One said,
God.
"You've got to smell the roses along the way." I took that to heart and continued to ogle women. This eventually led to my divorce.
No, it didn't. Something else led to that divorce. It wasn't
When
ugly
women wear tight pants, it seems unfair. They are very sexy, but men are not allowed to look. What do women prefer in this situation? I want to do the right thing. Good for you, name withheld, wanting to do the right thing.
I hate this guy. But I think it's a great, wait for it, talker.
Sure is.
I'd be very interested in your thoughts on this, Joe, because, you're a cold prickly.
Well, first, let's hear from the ethicist, because I like to consider myself an ethicist, but I in
don't.
fact, am not.
No.
This person says, it's clear that you've sometimes looked at women in a way that made them feel uncomfortable. Glancing at someone in a public space is always permissible. And then often there's a fleeting moment of mutual acknowledgement, a nod or a smile, something. No doubt if you find the person attractive, your glance may well linger involuntarily for a moment, but prolonging that moment further can cross a line. We can't control our initial notice of others. We can control our subsequent choices. I suspect your quick glance wasn't so quick. Which,
yes,
ethicist,
I do too.
I'm agreeing with that.
Mm-hmm.
Just as people who know they have a poor sense of direction learn to check maps more often, someone who struggles to read social signals around looking would do well by being reserved and not risk making others uncomfortable. It's a matter of taking the trouble to do what for you doesn't come naturally and adopting habits that respect everyone's dignity. When it comes to men looking at women in particular, there's a broader social context in which women often experience unwanted attention or feel unsafe.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with all this. I think this man who's saying, I promise I'm being respectful when I look at that hot ass and a pair of tight pants, I feel like Mr. Name Withheld isn't being as forthright with how he actually acts.
Oh, 1,000%. There's something else going on there. And the fact that he has even the gall to even pseudo blame his divorce on him staring at women, you gotta be kidding me. Never in the history of history has there been a divorce based on a guy getting busted staring at a babe. Something else you did there, buddy.
Yeah.
Or you were jerking off while looking at the girl multiple times and perhaps gotten jailed for it. And that's grounds for divorce. That'll give you. But
Yeah,
no
or
one ogling at women gets a divorce.
Yeah, or it's like, oh, I came across this woman on Instagram and her pictures were just so beautiful. And I just thought it would be like nice of me to message her privately to let her know how beautiful I think she is and how I would love to see her in person. Yeah, you're right. There's got to be more to it. Just the fact that he, upon getting married, wanted to know what was the right thing and the wrong thing to do. So he asked a coworker. He asked a male coworker.
Yeah.
And the coworker was like, well, you got to smell the roses. I bet you this guy actually sniffed a woman. I bet you he went up to a woman and sniffed her.
I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
I have noticed this. I've never been a big sunglasses guy. I break them. I lose them. That's why I will never pay more than $5 for them. I have got to wear more sunglasses in my older age. This is very much an older guy thing. The young guy is perfected the quick gaze and not getting busted. When you get older, everything gets slower. I get busted all the time now. And it's not like I'm a creep. Well, I mean, I'm sure I am a creep in many ways, but I will get busted now. I will walk when we used to have a place where we walked to work. I would get busted all the time. Where it's not like I'm like that, but a gaze will be met by mine, and it's clear that I've looked at this girl. And every time I'm like, particularly in summer when women are wearing less and less, I'm just like, why did I not wear sunglasses? All those issues would be done if I was wearing sunglasses. And again, younger, my game was good. Like you would never know I was ugly. But older, it's just like, I don't know, you get slower, and so you do the look separated by looking straight ahead is there's a couple of beats that you miss. So I got to get the sunglasses.
Yeah,
Gotta do the Stevie Wonder thing.
I also think maybe if you were wearing a 3-piece suit and closed-toed shoes, that maybe the woman then wouldn't be so weirded out. She might, in fact, give you the nod back or something, but I worry that they are concerned, who is this man that just jumped off the back of a moving truck?
True.
In flip-flops with large bunions and holes in his t-shirt. Who is this person looking at me?
Sometimes I feel like you don't respect me as much as I think you should. But we'll get
These
back to that.
are all things you have bragged about.
I don't want to say brag. Joe, it's called knowing thyself. It's a bragging. Well, I think I told you this. It was a very bad day. It was in between me dealing with some teeth shit, as you can remember.
Oh, yeah. There was a whole span of months where you were missing a front tooth.
I was missing a front tooth. I was in a very bad mood. I was leaving the orthodontal surgeon.
Yeah.
And it was in the middle of summer. And if there's any reason to get tourism into New York, I'm sure it's this way everywhere. But bras don't exist in New York anymore, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a bold new world, and it's wonderful. But gorgeous woman, and I'm just hating life. But I have my tooth out, my mouth's closed, and she's just not wearing a bra. It's a very see-through t-shirt. And shockingly, I looked. I wasn't ugly, but I was like, oh gosh, like one of those. and she catches my eye, and she gives me a smile and a wink. And she just, I'm sure it was charity. But Joe, I got to tell you, even though I was missing a tooth and I hated my life, that was like the best day of my month. The smile, the wink, and let's face it, the tits. It meant the world to me.
Now, Bill, here's the real question. Was she exposing her teeth? Because I might guess that there were one or two missing from her mouth.
Well, she looked rich. I don't know. Maybe people missing some mandibles find each other in that way. I don't know. But she was. I remember everything about her. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but either way, guys, get sunglasses. Joe, what is your thought? Like, I'm assuming you do not like to be ogled. I assume you bust people doing it to you a lot. What is your reactions? What is your ethicist comment on this?
Oh, well, I don't look at anyone or anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Douglas and I were walking down the street a few weeks ago, and he was like, wow, that was Chris Rock we just passed. And I was like, had no idea. I don't look at people.
I would have noticed that.
My eyes are on the sidewalk. For all I know, he could have been ogling me, and I would have had no idea.
Right.
But that brings me to the point that life is just so much better if you don't notice things. Because
But you miss Chris Rock?
Yeah, but like, what was I going to do? I wasn't going to stop him and say hi.
I guess.
If I want to see him, I can Google search an image,
You're
But
so dead inside.
yeah, not only do I not ogle people by not looking, I also don't notice if they are ogling me. So, moral of the story, ogle is a weird fucking word.
It is. I like it,
The more
though.
I say it. If you have to write into an ethicist columnist,
You got a problem.
asking if it's okay, I'm going to go ahead and guess it's not.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
Or you made up the whole thing. You just want to get printed in the ethicist.
For a man who ogles women on the street, I don't know that was a life goal of his, but
True.
perhaps he could be a
Fair
layered
point.
individual.
Fair point. Yes. Well, all right, but then, okay, but see, you never noticed people looking at you.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time. But going back in, like, when you were single and you were just dressed to the nines, I think that's a term the kids use,
Mm-hmm.
And you were feeling yourself, did you want people to, like, how does this work? The female brain always is an interesting thing to me that I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm less about wanting
You like attention.
people looking at me. The attention has to be turned into action. So it's like either I'm getting a free drink or I'm not.
There it is.
So it's
There it
like
is.
if what I'm wearing only got me an up and
Looks.
down from a guy at the bar,
That
that means I still haven't quite mastered the look. I got to do something else.
for the free. Gotcha. You got to get the veto.
But
that
no,
makes sense.
I'm not a free the nipple girl, so that's not something that's out and
I'm
about.
a free the nipple girl. Can't emphasize that enough.
I'm more for comfort, and I feel like oftentimes the things that get ogled are not
Yes.
comfortable.
That seems to be the case. Either way, thoughts and prayers to this guy's family and his divorced wife.
I would say she dodged a bullet, but she married the bullet in the first place.
She married him. Yeah.
I would like to know how they had met. Had he ogled her and she was into it? Like,
I have to tell you, to that point, look, I don't date. I'm not on any dating website. And you know what? You're welcome, America. I realize I'm a fucking nightmare. And I do it for the greater good. But I look at guys like this that have been divorced. And I'm like, I've got my issues. But I see so many of these married guys that are like him. And I'm like, wow, you know what? I don't know. I'm overthinking things, Joe. You're welcome, America. I'm still, don't worry. I'm staying away from everyone.
Are you saying you want to get married?
No, but I mean, I don't know. At the very least, I just make it out. It's not even just the sex, Joe. Even just a make-out session would be nice, you know?
Yeah, but
I've said too much.
Are you putting yourself out there?
No, I told you I'm not, and I'm doing that because I'm a good person.
But you need to, I don't know, communicate with women. I'm not
putting myself out there because I am mentally not right, and I am a good person for not doing that. But it's just I look at guys like, my point was, I look at guys like that have been married and divorced, and I'm like, well, I'm not
Well, he
think I'm
wasn't
like that
mentally
guy.
right, and that didn't stop him.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not as bad as that guy, is what I'm trying to say. Although, but again, I think he's got a little more in the bank account.
Yeah, he probably has all his real teeth.
I have one missing tooth, and the rest of mine are, as you know, cavity free. And also, I have all these extra teeth.
Bill,
Look
speaking
at all
of...
these extra teeth.
Wow. Honestly, next time you lose one, just take one of those.
Not kidding. These are badass.
Speaking of a little more money.
Yes. Oh, I love this. By the way, I know what you're about to ask me. You already know the answer, but go
I
ahead.
have your new... This should be a new segment. What job can we get Bill?
Yes.
A few weeks ago, I was trying to
It's not
get
like
him
you're
to be...
swimming in it either. This could be a good one for
I was trying to get him
you.
to be a doorman, but now I have a good one. Although your bladder might stop you.
I was thinking about that too.
The hot new side hustle. How standing in line has become a competitive and lucrative gig.
Brilliant. What a great idea.
In major cities, standing in line has become all the rage, a scene unto itself. Hours-long lines are now the price of entry to secure restaurant reservations, concert tickets, band merch, bagels, and more.
Bagels.
Retail brands are leaning into the luxury of the real-life experience, offering more exclusive events, and you had to be there sample sales that bring out hundreds of fans. Now, in order to beat the queues, professional line standers have become a growing part of the gig economy. While the cash-rich, time-poor have been sending their assistants ahead to get early access for years, more people are joining them in outsourcing their time. Those who are willing to wait average about $27 an hour for a gig like that. By the way, this is a very long but really interesting article at Business Insider, so check it out.
Brilliant idea. I've pitched Business Insider many times, and they've never taken an article on mine.
Well, you didn't have a gem like this.
I did.
And they talk to different people who have done it. This one woman, Tanya, has done it a lot, specifically for reservations for a restaurant in New York, for Broadway show tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she is the one who said she used to be a reporter who would be out in the field for 12, 14 hours. So she's like, I'm used to not eating or peeing for a while, so waiting in line is fine for me, which I thought was funny. Bill, I think you should consider adding this to your job list.
I'm way ahead of you.
Have you already signed up?
I've emailed 3 of the people that are referenced in this article after you sent it last night.
That is so funny.
Yes. Yeah. That was possibly one of the best things you've ever sent me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, all right. No, maybe not, because they haven't replied yet.
Oh.
But I said the same thing. I didn't mention my bladder issues, but I did say that I'm getting more and more diminishing returns as far as media is concerned. And I sent my resume. Although, do you really have to send a resume for a job like this?
No.
But I did say, like, I got media connections that might help, like, get me ahead of some people in line, maybe. Who knows, depending on the thing. But this is what a great idea. This is perfect. This is perfect for me. I like reading my stories. Not even watching them, Joe. I like reading my stories. Yeah. And I can deal with most weather. I'm from the Midwest.
Sure.
I just think this works.
So now, here's what's interesting, though. There are some people who get mad when they realize, like, let's say there's someone standing in line behind you. And once they realize you've been hired to wait in line for someone else, they get upset and they say it's not fair, because if everyone in line is getting paid to do this, it leaves the rest of us with less chance to get a reservation. No, it's just you're poor and you can't afford to have someone wait in line for you. I understand it's frustrating. I think lines are stupid. I refuse to wait in a line or pay someone to wait in a line for like anything.
Right.
So unless it's a bathroom line and I really have to go, then I wait. But this whole fair, nothing is fair anymore. Okay, you have money, you win. So
yeah, let them be upset. Yeah. Like, I will quote King Longshanks in Braveheart, and I would reply from whatever person was angry at me in line for being paid to wait there. Who is this person who speaks to me as if I needed his counsel? This guy has nothing to do with me. I got nothing to do with him. I'm there to make $27 an hour. Shut the F up. Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay, fine. Be mad. What is that going to do to me? Who cares? I mean, yeah, maybe he'll punch out more of my teeth. But other than that, it's not going to be an issue for me, Joe. Yeah, give it to me. Don't care at all. Could care less. Also, how are they going to find out? How do they find out that you're being paid to do this rather than just doing it, you know?
Yeah, right. Well, and that's the thing. This is why I would not want to be a line stander. What do they call them?
I'm sure it's a line stander.
A line stander.
Captain research.
They've said, when you're waiting in line for hours, you end up like talking to the people around you.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
I would not want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where you and I are very similar.
Yeah. I would just have my headphones in.
Yeah, I'm listening to my podcasts. Or my pods. I think that's what the cool kids say.
Yeah, but Bill, do you ever wait in line for things? I feel like you usually cut lines.
I cut lines all the time. I'm very good at it. I have something coming up that I'm not looking forward to because it involves security, and then there is a line wait, and I, as a result, try to get there as early as possible. I am, God help me, I paid money that I don't have, but they're super cheap seats. Bulls, Knicks next week, right?
Wow.
And MSG's just gotten really bad with security. Bad in the sense that it just takes forever. You got the bags, you got the machines, and there is just the lines take forever. And so I am just going to get there really early. And I like, bumming around MSG and exploring and looking at all the dorky stuff on the walls and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's fine. But those are hard lines to cut. So as a result, I will just get there obnoxiously early, like the dork that I am. And I can't do lines. What I can do is wait in line if someone's paying.
Yeah. Actually, Bill, I have a solution for your security line. Don't bring your backpack. Isn't there a separate line for people without bags?
No, I never bring the backpack. It still takes forever. Yeah. Oh, well. Here's the problem, though. And this is some advice for you youthful Knicks fans out there that are thinking about becoming alcoholics. Or just cheap. What you got to do with the flask, nothing metal. Nothing metal. It's got to be a plastic bottle. I recommend your Jim Beams. The cap has to be plastic as well. They have plastic bottles. You can't do the glass either. That sometimes could be noticed when they, frisk and everything. But yeah, people make the rookie mistake of bringing flasks in that have some metal in it, and things happen.
Do they confiscate it then?
Yes, they just take it.
I wonder how many
they let you in, but they
have
take it.
at the end of the night.
They have a party every night. And if you look at these security guards, you can tell they had a party every night.
Yeah.
These guys are not exactly, a SWAT team. They are probably 30 and they look like they're 80 age-wise. Everything that they get, because they usually get the little airport bottle ones that people try to sneak in, but invariably will have like the metal top or something that'll set it off. They drink it all that night. Take it from you. You still get in. They don't kick you out.
Yeah.
But, it's a total racket. It's the same. TSA does the same thing. Same thing.
By the way, did you hear about Marcus Jordan?
Oh, well, the cocaine.
Recently got a
DUI. And on the train track thing. Yeah, and to the point where it's a little old now. Briefly, for those of you that have not heard, Jordan's son got busted for a DUI. Could not have been more a pissy little bitch about it. Tried to evade the cops by going and making a left onto the train tracks in a Lamborghini. Gets stuck on the train tracks. Tries to tell the cops that he just got lost or something. I guess the original cops had lost him. And then the ones that found him on the train tracks, there's a train coming. They get him off of it, find cocaine on him. He requests songs on his way to the police station.
Oh, my God.
Well, in the backseat of the car. And there's video out there of it.
Yeah, and apparently he was saying, I'm Michael Jordan's son.
I'm Michael Jordan's son, yes. Yeah.
Which...
You know who's real happy about that?
Michael Jordan. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely do a Do You Know Who I Am? But I don't know that I would just drop my dad's name.
Well, that's all he's got. And a Lamborghini.
But also you're not in Chicago. You're in Florida.
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe if you were in the burbs of Chicago, that might work, but I don't know.
But it was I strongly urge anyone listening to look up the cop cameras that they have, because it's a lot of him. He'll listen to one song in the station. It's yeah, this is my jam. And he's oh, put some Mariah Carey up in this bitch. Because it's like right after Christmas.
Oh, boy.
He's requesting songs while he's getting busted for blowing a DUI. And mentioning Michael Jordan, who, again, is very proud of his son. Very, very proud. People make fun of LeBron James' son, Joe. And whether he deserves to be in the NBA or not, he's done something. I just wonder what Michael Jordan thinks about his son.
Well, at least with LeBron is like obsessed with his son. And it's like, would be happy to bail him out of jail just because he's like, my son is calling me. I love my son.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
he
interesting.
He probably hasn't talked to MJ in years. There's that. But it's great. It's great. Worth a YouTube. So check that out.
All right. Before we go, Bill, any last minute plugs, promotions, stories on TMZ you're obsessed with?
Oh, so many on TMZ. Do you have an hour? February 24th, I believe, is the next Bowery Boys tours. You can find my tour, Turtle Bay Tours, on BoweryBoysWalks.com. It's very fun. You've never seen anything like it. Jo's been on it, and she didn't hate it.
I have. I did not hate it. It was super informative. You're constantly moving so you don't get cold. Lots of really fun, I would say fun facts.
Thank you.
Yeah. And depressing facts.
Super depressing.
Yeah.
I warn people. I'm like, these are all facts. Some of them ain't fun.
Yeah.
But Joe, what do you have?
Tomorrow, I will be hosting for the 7th time the soiree and talent competition for the Zach G. Applaud Our Kids Foundation, a nonprofit based in Central Jersey that provides performing arts lessons to kids from low socioeconomic status. I am fundraising. I'm trying to help put a kid through a year of music classes. So if you go to my Instagram, click on the link in my bio, scroll to my name, and just make a $5 donation, I would appreciate it. The kids would appreciate it.
I'm going to do that right now.
Thank you, Bill, for this image I won't be able to get out of my head. He is currently in a Wober's mustard chef's hat. For those who are listening.
Thank you, Joe, for bringing all that stuff by.
You're very welcome. And thank you all for listening, subscribing, and liking. We appreciate you. Take care. Bye.
Bill Murray's on record for possibly wanting to guest host Saturday Night Live again. That's a big deal. That's huge.
Okay, bye.
Oh, I'm sure glad that's over.
That's all for this episode of Mornin with Bill and Joanne.
I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts.
Shut up, Bill.
Subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get podcasts.
Yeah, I wasn't listening either.
Very nice, Joanne. Touché.
For videos of this and other episodes, go to @MorninBillAndJoe on YouTube.
Bill, put the sword down.
Run, Joanne, run!
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We would do it for you. Okay, that's a lie.
I never liked your show. Sorry, wasn't listening. See ya.